Let's get things started. My first guest tonight is a 1983 graduate of Marshall University's theater program, plus a New York Times best-selling author. If you don't like to read or can't read like Kyle, his books have been picked up by the A&E Television Network to do a 10-show series starting June 2012. Please welcome to Up Late and back to Marshall University, Craig Johnson. Mr. Johnson, thank you for coming on the show.
Good to be here. Great.
This is Kyle. And the hub. Why not, right?
Good for you too, buddy.
He's a best-selling author. Yes. Oh, goodness. Well, thank you for coming onto the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Well, I know this is kind of special because your wife and mother are in the audience.
They are. They are.
That's a correction. They are the audience. So, no, just kidding.
It's like my usual signing.
Well, welcome back to Huntington. I'm sure there's been a lot of changes, especially to Marshall's campus, since the last time you've been here.
Like an awful lot of changes. Like it's almost difficult to recognize the place. Like that, there've been so many building projects, and so many differences, in the campus itself. Like that. And it's been a while since I've been here. So I've really enjoyed seeing the growth, that's been here at the university.
Now we made a comment there at the beginning that you graduated in 1983.
I did.
At that time, the Joan C. Edwards Playhouse. It wasn't there.
It didn't
You actually
exist.
performed in Old Main.
Yeah,
the
everything
theater
was
in Old
done.
Main.
The old theater over in Old Main, like that, and I think what it had been there since the beginnings of time. I'm not sure.
Right.
I think there are actual cave dwelling drawings on some of the the lower basement
They think
walls.
that Adam and Eve actually had a room upstairs.
I'm sure they probably did. If they didn't, a lot of other theater alumnus did. Like it, so, but yeah, it's very interesting to go over and see that incredible facility. Like it's just amazing.
Well, we mentioned your family. They're here, and you have family here in town. What's it like to come back and visit them? Because you don't make it back that often, right?
I don't. The schedulings that I've got, as far as the book tours and all that, and then the books have actually been translated, and so I spend a lot of time touring overseas too, like that, and so that eats up an awful lot of my time. And then I have these books that I have to write, because I'm an indentured servant of Viking Penguin Publishing. So.
And that's your job.
It
right?
is. It is my job. If the books stop, everything else stops too. So, but it's nice to come home. It's nice to come home and touch base. And a lot of my old friends are still here. All my family are still here in Huntington, and so it's very nice to come back and visit with everyone.
Well, let's talk about where you like I said, we went where you were at Marshall, and now you're writing books, but what happened in between? Because you've had kind of a crazy career to get to where you are now. I'm saying sitting next to me, of course.
Well,
the highlight, yeah.
Well, yeah, it's peas in a pod, I guess. Like, but
Right.
it was kind of like I left Marshall University like that, and I was at Actors Theater of Louisville, like that, and from there I kind of changed over a little bit, like that, from more of a performance and directing to more playwriting. And that's when the playwriting started, and then finally the playwriting evolved into being a novelist. And I bounced around, had a Jack Kerouac period where I lived in a lot of different places. I lived in Philadelphia, New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, out west, experimenting, just seeing where it was that I wanted to settle in. And I guess, I could say that probably that was good training ground for a novelist, or else it's just a massive rationalization for just jerking around and doing what you want to do. For
Wasting a lot of money.
Yeah,
absolutely.
But I finally ended up in a little town called Ucross, Wyoming, with a population of 25.
So stress that again, a little town, population 20. You're not making this up. There's
No,
actually
I'm not. I'm not. It's Ucross, Wyoming. It's the crown jewel of the UCLA area. That would be Ucross, Claremont, Leiter, and Arvada, leading out in the Powder River country.
Now, I don't want to put you on the spot, but can you name everybody in the town of 25?
It's even worse than that. Like that, my wife and I sat down.
Because you're here, your wife's here, so that you're subtracting right now.
Well, right, there are only 23 tonight. Like
Right.
that, but even worse than that, like that, we actually sat down and started doing a head count of all the people that we knew in town, and we think that since the last census, the actual population of Ucross has dropped down to about 19. So.
Oh man, that's horrible.
It is.
But we were joking backstage, but that gives you a great opportunity to focus and do what you do by writing the books.
It does. I mean, a lot of people have asked. They've said, well, did you suspect, that the books, would be as much of a success, with the New York Times list, and then, with the A&E series and all of that? Did I count on the books being as much of a success as they are? And my answer to that is no, not at all. Because if I had, maybe I wouldn't have started writing a mystery series that took place in the least populated county in the least populated state in America.
Not that many people to choose from, right?
No, and you can only kill so many people before it becomes a natural disaster. So.
It's horrible. So let's talk about the A&E series that that you've signed now, starting in June 2012. They already shot the first episode, right? The pilot.
They did. They did the pilot in March, like that, and they invited me down, like that. And everybody that I talked to, all the authors that I spoke with, they all said, you know, well, don't worry about it because you're never going to be asked to do anything. You know, if they make you a creative consultant or something like that, you know, because that's what I am.
Kyle, you hear that?
I'm actually an executive creative consultant, which means I know where the porta potties on set are.
You're the one directing it to them, or you just know where they are?
I can do either one.
Okay,
I'm
good.
multi-talented.
Where the food is.
I'm a threat, you know. Yeah, craft services.
Craft
is
services.
my life, you know. But it was interesting because I went down there and spent, you know, the 3 weeks with them while they filmed the pilot. And that was with Robert Taylor, not that Robert Taylor because he's dead.
Right.
But then this is the Robert Taylor that was actually in the Matrix movies and in Vertical Limit and The Hard Word, a number of other films. But he's the one that's actually going to be playing Walt Longmire, the sheriff that's in the books. And then Lou Diamond Phillips plays Henry, like that, who's another major character in the books. And then Katie Sackhoff, you know, from Battlestar Galactica, also plays a character, Vic, in the books.
And Kyle wants an autograph, right? From who?
I want La Bamba's autograph. I want Lou Diamond's autograph.
Everywhere I go, that's what I get, I tell you.
That everyone wants La Bamba's autograph. They don't even know his
they
name.
want Lou's autograph, but they want to meet Katie Sackhoff. So, you know, I try to be available to everyone.
So what's coming down the line after that? I mean, are they going to sign any more shows, or just going to do the 10 and see how it works out?
It's actually been picked up as a series, like that, and so this is the first you know, series. It's the first, you know, season. And what they did was they gave a goal, you know, for 9 more episodes. Like, and so with the pilot, that'll be 10 episodes that'll be run this summer, you know, beginning in June on A&E, and it's backed by Warner Brothers, like that, which were the, you know, I guess one of the powerful forces behind this. And then also Greer Shepard, who's the executive producer for The Closer, and Nip Tuck, and a number of other shows. And Chris Chulak is the director who does Southland on TNT. So it's a really good group of folks to work with. It really is. And I was amazed that they had me involved as much as they did. So if the whole project fails, it will be my fault.
There you go. So you got all these people and then you that's going to screw it up.
Exactly.
Now, Kyle's making a list earlier of shows on A&E, so you now share
You're on there with antique dealers, people who go through storage lockers, drug addicts. What else is on there?
I like hoarders. I don't know if that's on there or not.
A little bit of everything.
Crazy people who hoard rats.
It's definitely a buffet of viewership. Like, but they've also got things like let's see, The Glades. Like, I guess is one of their more hit shows that they've had.
Fancy people who live in Florida.
They do, and now they're going to go to like these least populated areas of Wyoming. So
they're getting back.
Hopefully it'll work out.
Oh goodness. Well, Mr. Johnson, thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate you. Looking forward to June when the show actually hits.
My pleasure.
Excellent. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Thank you.